Hello and welcome to another episode of Current Affairs MCQ. Let us look at yesterday's question. With reference to Unified Payments Interface, consider the following statements. 1. UPI's cross-border functionality is enabled through bilateral agreements and does not require SWIFT integration. 2. NPCI International Payments Limited is the body responsible for UPI's global partnerships. 3. It has been adopted for cross-border payments in countries like Singapore, the UAE and France through bilateral linkages. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 only. C. 3 only. D. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option D. Unified Payments Interface International Expansion is based on bilateral agreements between India and partner countries or payment networks. It does not rely on Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication or SWIFT, which is a global messaging system used for traditional bank-to-bank transfers. Hence, statement 1 is correct. NPCI International Payments Limited or NIPL is a wholly owned subsidiary of the National Payments Corporation of India established in 2020. It is tasked with internationalizing UPI and RuPay, building partnerships with foreign governments, banks and payment networks to enable cross-border payments. Hence, statement 2 is correct. UPI has been integrated with payment systems in several countries like Singapore, linked with PayNow for real-time fund transfers, UAE, enabled through partnerships with local banks and fintechs, and France, UPI acceptance has been launched at select merchant locations, especially for Indian tourists. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer.
Welcome SSC aspirants. Drishti SSC is here to support you every step of the way. With free live classes, previous year questions, PYQs, demo classes, exam notifications, and strategy videos. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to refine your preparation, we've got you covered. Subscribe to our channel and stay updated with all the resources you need to crack your SSC exams. For more details, call us at 8750187501.
Question 1. Consider the following statements. 1. The country shares its borders with 3 countries, namely Côte d'Ivoire to the west, Burkina Faso to the north, and Togo to the east. 2. It is situated on the Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean in the sub-region of West Africa. 3. Lake Volta, located in the country, is one of the largest artificial lakes in the world. Which of the following countries correctly describes the above geographical features? A. Nigeria, B. Liberia, C. Mali, D. Ghana. The correct answer is option D, Ghana. Ghana, with capital Accra, is a West African country bordered by Côte d'Ivoire to the west, Burkina Faso to the north, Togo to the east, and Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean to the south. Ghana, the first black African country south of Sahara to gain independence in 1957, was named after the medieval Ghana Empire. It is known for its vast gold resources. It was called the Gold Coast. Cacao, introduced in the 19th century, remains a key export. Since the 1990s, Ghana has seen political stability, economic recovery, and is now cited as a model for democratic governance and reform in Africa. Mountains and lakes. Mount Afadjato, Mount Jebobo, and Mount Torogbani are all located east of the Volta River in Ghana, near the border with Togo. These mountains are part of the Togo-Atakora mountain range. Lake Volta is one of the largest artificial lakes in the world. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 2. With reference to the cooperative banks in India, consider the following statements. 1. The Banking Regulation Act 1949 is applicable to cooperative banks to regulate capital adequacy and lending norms. 2. The administrative oversight of cooperative banks is managed by the Reserve Bank of India. 3. Urban cooperative banks are required to allocate 65% of their adjusted net bank credit to priority sector lending in FY 2024-25. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, D. None. The correct answer is option B. Cooperative banks are financial institutions established as cooperative societies registered under the State Cooperative Societies Acts or the Multi-State Cooperative Societies Act 2002 and involved in banking activities. The RBI regulates cooperative banks under the Banking Regulation Act 1949. This act ensures that cooperative banks adhere to critical financial norms such as capital adequacy, lending norms, and financial supervision. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The administrative oversight of cooperative banks is managed by the Registrar of Cooperative Societies or RCS under the purview of state or central governments. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Urban cooperative banks or UCBs are required to allocate 65% of their adjusted net bank credit or ANBC to PSL in financial year 2024-25 with an aim to raise it to 75% by March 2026, benefiting sectors such as MSMEs, housing and education. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 3. Operation MedMax, recently seen in news, is associated with which of the following? A. Combating illegal trade of medicines by the Central Bureau of Investigation. B. Addressing money laundering through narcotics trade by Enforcement Directorate. C. Cracking down on illegal sale of prescription drugs by the Drug Control Administration. C. Dismantling a transnational drug cartel by the Narcotics Control Bureau. The correct answer is option D. Operation MedMax is a major initiative by the Narcotics Control Bureau to dismantle a transnational drug cartel involved in illicit drug trafficking across more than 10 countries. NCB's role in curbing illegal drug trade activities and ensuring international cooperation to tackle organized crime. The focus of the operation was on a global network of drug traffickers and it is unrelated to money laundering, illegal trade of medicines or prescription of drugs. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 4. Consider the following statements with reference to Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. 1. RGSA is a centrally sponsored scheme with a funding ratio of 60-40 between the centre and states except for northeastern and hilly areas. 2. The scheme includes initiatives like e-Gram Swaraj to enhance transparency in decentralized planning and work-based accounting. 3. RGSA does not support the formulation of Gram Panchayat development plans. How many of the above statements is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option B. Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan is a centrally sponsored scheme with a 60-40 funding ratio for most states, but 90-10 for northeastern and hilly states and 100% central funding for union territories. Hence, statement 1 is correct. E-Gram Swaraj is a key component of RGSA, promoting transparency in decentralized planning, progress reporting and accounting. Hence, statement 2 is correct. RGSA emphasizes capacity building through training elected representatives and promotes e-governance via the Panchayat Enterprise Suite applications. RGSA supports the formulation of Gram Panchayat development plans to enable PRIs to plan for local development and SDGs. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 5. Consider the following statements regarding dengue. 1. Dengue is primarily transmitted by the female Aedes aegypti mosquito, which also spreads chikungunya, Zika, and yellow fever. 2. Dengue All is India's first indigenous tetravalent dengue vaccine, aims to target all 4 serotypes of the dengue virus. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. Dengue is a mosquito-borne viral disease caused by the dengue virus genus Flavivirus, primarily transmitted by the female Aedes aegypti mosquito. This mosquito also spreads chikungunya, yellow fever and Zika. There are 4 distinct but related dengue serotypes: DEN1, DEN2, DEN3 and DEN4. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Symptoms: high fever, severe headache, eye pain, muscle and joint pain, rash and fatigue. Diagnosis and treatment: diagnosis is done via blood test. There is no specific antiviral treatment. care is supportive. Dengue, all developed by Panacea Biotech, is India's first indigenous tetravalent dengue vaccine currently in phase 3 trials, targeting all 4 dengue virus serotypes. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The vaccine is significant as dengue currently has no specific treatment for everyone, and severe cases can lead to life-threatening complications like internal bleeding and shock. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 6. Which of the following best describes the implication of a sector being designated as infrastructure? A. It leads to the immediate privatization of services within the sector. B. It is subject to increased taxation to fund social welfare programs. C. It receives preferential treatment in terms of financing, taxation and regulatory frameworks. D. None. The correct answer is option C. Infrastructure status is a government designation granted to specific sectors to encourage their growth through favorable financial, tax and regulatory policies. It is typically applied to sectors considered essential for economic progress and societal well-being, such as transportation, energy, telecommunications and water supply. The goal of providing infrastructure status is to stimulate investment, promote innovation, and ensure the effective delivery of crucial services to the public. This designation highlights the importance of infrastructure development in promoting sustainable growth and resilience against challenges like urbanization, climate change, and technological progress. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 7. Which of the following is or are the features of the basic structure of the Constitution? 1. Supremacy of the Constitution. 2. Secular character of the Constitution. 3. Federal character of the Constitution. 4. Welfare state or socio-economic justice. Select the correct answer using the code given below. A. 1 and 4 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 only. D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is option D. The basic structure doctrine introduced by the Indian judiciary in the Keshwanand Bharti case 1973 asserts that Parliament cannot alter certain fundamental features of the Indian Constitution even through Article 368 amendments. Though the specific elements of the doctrine may evolve, commonly recognized features include the supremacy of the Constitution, the rule of law, secular character of the Constitution, the federal character of the Constitution, welfare state or socio-economic justice, etc. This doctrine acts as a safeguard against arbitrary constitutional amendments, preserving essential values. It ensures the long-term stability of the Constitution by protecting its core principles from any potential alterations. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Question 8. Consider the following statements with respect to the Constituent Assembly of India. 1. The Constituent Assembly was formed in 1946 under the provisions of the Cabinet Mission Plan. 2. The objective resolution moved by Jawaharlal Nehru in the Constituent Assembly outlines the fundamental principles of the Constitution. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option C. The Constituent Assembly was established in 1946 based on the Cabinet Mission Plan, which outlined the framework for drafting India's constitution. Hence, statement 1 is correct. After the Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950, the Constituent Assembly functioned as the provisional parliament until the first general elections in 1952. After the Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950, the Constituent Assembly functioned as the provisional parliament until the first general elections in 1952. On 30th December 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the objective resolution in Constituent Assembly to lay down the guiding principles of the Constitution such as sovereignty, democracy and justice. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 9. Consider the following statements with respect to the Solicitor General of India. 1. The Solicitor General is appointed by the President of India. 2. Solicitor General's term is fixed for 5 years. 3. The Solicitor General represents the Government of India primarily in the Supreme Court. How many of the above statements is or are not correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option A. The Solicitor General is subordinate to the Attorney General of India, who is the primary law officer of the government. The Solicitor General of India is appointed by the President of India. Hence, Statement 1 is correct. The Solicitor General's term is not fixed for 5 years. They hold office at the pleasure of the President. Hence, Statement 2 is not correct. The Solicitor General primarily represents the Government of India in Supreme Court and High Court. Hence, Statement 3 is correct. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 10. Consider the following statements with respect to the Munich Security Conference Report 2025. 1. The report is titled Multipolarization, analyzes the consequences of shifting global power structure towards a larger number of influential actors. 2. The report introduces the concept of depolarization as a necessary step to foster cooperation among major powers to address global crisis. 3. The Munich Security Index 2025 indicates that G7 countries are uniformly optimistic about the prospects of a multipolar world compared to BICS countries. How many of the above statements is or are correct? A. Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. The correct answer is option B. The Munich Security Report 2025, titled Multipolarization, explicitly focuses on the shift of power towards a large number of factors influencing global issues as outlined in its analysis of international order. Hence, Statement 1 is correct. The report advocates for depolarization to counter the negative effects of multipolarization, emphasizing the need for reforms to enhance cooperation among powers to tackle global threats. Hence, Statement 2 is correct. The Munich Security Index 2025 shows that G7 countries are generally less optimistic about a multipolar world compared to BICS, which is BRICS minus Russia, countries not uniformly optimistic as stated. Hence, Statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Now, let us look at a practice question. Consider the following statements. 1. Cost push inflation is caused by an increase in the cost of production, such as wages or raw materials. 2. Stagflation refers to a situation of high inflation combined with low economic growth and high unemployment. Which of the above statements is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. Please provide your answers in the comment section.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.